Imagine you have a room which is empty, nothing is there, just a room. So there is no confusion, there is no choice, there is no room for a decision making. You have just a room which is empty. Now consider, in this room you are bringing a chair. So when you bring this chair, then you have to make some simple decision whether to keep this chair on the corners or on the center, somewhere. Later when you bring a table, it became like two elements, two items inside this room. So you had to make a rather bit more serious decision. Now after that you bring a bed, a cupboard, other stuffs, like say a small aquarium, then more chairs. So in this way, when you bring more and more elements to that room, then the process of decision and your role to make a meaningful decision becomes more serious, and you have to spend some time to do that. That's what's happening with us in our life. So when you have a simple information, small information, only few sources of information, making of decision is very easy. So that's what were happening with our ancestors, foragers, those who used to hunt and eat. Those people, they don't have to make much decisions in their life. Just on a day, they have to get their food, shelter, they have to guard their family against the enemies. That's it. So that was a simple life they had to live. But later, as the society grew and they became a bigger culture, then people have to make more decisions. Now take our intelligence age. What is intelligence age? Intelligence age came after the information age. Most of us know that we were in information age, and some people still mistake that we are still in the information age. But the problem is this information, when this information had to be processed, it will become intelligence, just like knowledge. Now take this new time, just I take my mobile, or you take your mobile phone, or any your iPad or tablet or laptop, any device. You turn to open Twitter, Facebook, maybe Instagram, or any other social networking websites, or even you go to Google search, Google Scholar, or anything. You have to give some inputs, right? So accordingly it will give you output. So you have access to all those information which was very difficult in time before. So now you have access to information. Even if you are not searching anything, your mobile device will refer certain topics to you, just like see Mr. Dash and Dash has given some update. He's visiting Greece, or he's going to Europe. This newspaper has given a breaking news. Donald J. Trump is meeting North Korean leader. That way it is suggesting some topic to you to read. And also in this case, some people ask you to connect with you, they ask to be your friend. So all this point events, you had to make decisions. Even when you are studying, you have to select which topic to study. When you are going through your career changes, you have to make a decision like where to proceed and get your career proper. So this way you have to make choices. So each and every second we are confronted with so many options, and these options will lead to certain results. So this is the point where we have to keep ourselves organized. So when we are keeping ourselves organized, we are asking our brain to get organized. So this is the scenario. Our Daniel Levitin has written a beautiful book on the organized mind. Now talking of the author, he is a cognitive psychologist, neuroscientist, writer, a musician, and record producer. So you can see a scientist turning to a musician, and there are certain things which is very famous for this person, that is the Levitin effect, something related to music, and he has written quite many books actually. So here, when you are going to understand the book The Organized Mind, there are certain things you must be taking care of, meaning like any book, when you read, you first understand what is there in that book. So that is the thing which made me to make 10-point summary. Like, I will be reading certain books, and I will try to get certain nodal points, the data points around which the entire book is written. So with respect to this book, The Organized Mind, there are 10 points. So our discussion will go around this 10 points. Let's see. First point is the way brain manages information. So as we understood, anything, as soon as we get up from the bed, we just make the first decision whether to walk through or sleep over. So we are making the first decision like that. After you get out of the bed, the next step whether to go to bathroom or to the kitchen. That way we make the second set of decisions. That way we make so many decisions. To make the decision, we need information. So when we feel like, yeah, when we are going to our kitchen, if milk is there, we can go right away and make a coffee. Or we may think of going to toilet. If we don't have water, then there is no point in going to bathroom. So that way we will take information to make a decision. So this brain has to make a decision based on information. So managing the information is very important for our brain. So that is the first point what this particular book is emphasizing on. Second point, the brain focus only on limited number of stimuli, meaning it is against the multitasking and parallel programming. See, many people, many bosses, the demanding bosses, they ask people to do the parallel work or multitasking, but this is against the culture of our brain. It is not the way our brain is built. Our brain is designed to make work on a particular task or only certain set of tasks. It cannot do like A on this level and B on this level. Two different levels of work the brain cannot process. So it is our duty not to make our brain overdo on things, and emphasis on things which are related, and if possible try to do the simple, the only kinded, the uniform kind of work. So that will help people concentrate on the work. How? By making the brain to process on the information in a more easy manner. The third point is about information and decision making. So as I said, as you have more information, the brain will be eligible to make more decisions. So more information you cater to your brain, the brain will tend to make more decisions. And also more information will create a kind of flooding on your brain, and that will make brain work in improper manner. So it is your duty to filter the information, not to flood all the information to your brain. So you may be having n number of choices in a weekend or in a weekday. So don't force your brain to interfere in each and everything. Categorize it, take it in a proper manner and feed it. That will help your brain to make a proper decision. So there is a relation between the information and decision, and this relation is directly proportional. And don't make your brain overdo on certain things. That is not no way going to increase your efficiency. The fourth point is about hippocampus, to remember things by designating certain locations. Just like if you keep your key on certain what you call anchor on near to your door, then your brain will that you are actually helping your brain to make things very make the decision very easy. So whenever you are about to get the key, you will just look into the hook which is near to the door. Just like you are looking into the shoe that will be on the shoe rack. and you're going to take your favorite pen that will be on that bowl particular kept on your table. So this way what you are doing, you are actually helping your brain by designating certain spots. So you are actually making your brain organized, so that way when you are helping your brain to get organized, you yourself are making yourself organized. That will reduce different levels of decision making and so many energy that you are going to spend on your brain by just thinking where I kept my car keys, where I kept my shoes, that way. So try to designate particular place for your stuffs, regular stuffs. That way you can help your brain and yourself to reduce the time and energy in making some complicated decisions. Particular day, if you have a number of tasks to do, if you are on your week and your project has to be completed before the week, and there are a number of tasks which is there to be done. So in this kind of situations, what you can do is you have to broadly categorize. When you are broadly categorizing, it is just like you have stuff just scattered on your table, and you are taking this stuffs like by a certain categorized parameter. You are just categorizing and taking this into particular folder. So if there were 100 elements on the table, you take this 100 element into 5 by categorizing on some broadly parameter. So this way what you are going to do is you are helping yourself in reducing the confusing part. Then you prioritize which has to be taken first, second, third, fourth and fifth. That way you are actually leaving a kind of a ladder which one has to be taken seriously first, second, that way. So when you have this 100 elements, 100 equally important, you are not able to decide which one to go for first, then you are actually confused. So if you are given a week, 7 days, this 7 days you will be just fighting yourself with your brain to understand which one to go first. So first you have to do what? You have to just categorize broadly and prioritize. Even the students, they can make use of this situation very easily when they are given with so many subjects to study, and maybe they are given some study leave of 1 month or 1 week or so. They can categorize it as per their taste, as per their interest, difficulty level. They can categorize the subject, when to study, at which time and what way, like when your mood is on and off. This way you can just categorize, and broadly you can put into, and this way you can make a proper study plan. So this will help your brain also, broadly categorizing and prioritizing. Misfits in our thinking, like some items which cannot be categorized, which cannot be just put in certain broad category. So this kind of thing, like say you have a shovel in your home, you have a subject called literature. You are studying engineering, as an elective they are given literature. So you cannot take this particular thing because these are misfits. As per our normal category, we cannot put in a kind of folder. So what we have to do is, if this kind of misfits are there, you have to keep a particular category different, a folder different. The purpose of this folder is just to keep the misfits. So whichever misfits which is not fitting in other category, you can keep on this, and you have to keep a regular watch on this misfits, because these are the things you are not going to use regularly. So if you are not going to use at all, throw it away. Just like you are keeping some information on your brain, just like you are keeping some folder, something on your computer, on your mobile. If you are not going to use that particular app, keep it aside and keep a regular watch. If you are not going to use it, remove it. Just like you are taking more space on your mobile, you are taking more space on your brain also. So something which is not useful to you, don't take it inside your brain. Keep it for some time and remove it. If you are removing it from your thinking, then it will be removed, will get removed from your brain also. Seventh point is about getting refueled and getting re-energized. So we as a human, people say that we are not using our brain. Some people said even through scientific values, they said like a normal average human using only 8% of the brain. The problem is that is entirely wrong. All of the human being, they are using 100% of their brain. Sometimes we even tend to use more than 100%. Like what we are allowed to use, we are using more than that. So we are taking decision on n number of things, n number of factors, and again we have to do certain tasks. We are doing multitasking also, one over the other. We are working on the computer, we are checking our tweets, we are just commenting on our Facebook status. All this we are doing parallelly. So this kind of way, what we are doing is we are overusing our brain. So just like any employee working, giving their more than 100% of time and effort, our brain also giving more effort to our plans. So what we have to do is we have to give rest time to this brain. We should allow proper sleeping hours. This is actually helping us to refuel. So refueling is like we are getting re-energized, and this energy will help us the next day. So it is not like we are keeping awake till 1 o'clock 1 a.m. and the morning 4 a.m. we are getting up and walking, going for a jogging and doing whatever and what, and going to the office, and again you are proceeding with your regular work one day after the other, week, months, year. So this way, if you are going through, you will get exhausted, and the efficiency what you are going to get will be very, very low. And even the most effective MNC principals around the world, the global companies, those who are serious about increasing the productivity of their employees, they are helping employees to take some small few minutes or few hours of break in between, just like Google, Facebook and all those kind of companies. So what we are doing is we are helping these people to take rest, so that their energy level, their output will be more. So if you reduce the number of working hours, just like happening in most of the developed countries, their efficiency is also increasing. So that way, if we are going, we should give proper rest time for our brain. And the ideal thing what is going to do is you are going to give enough sleep to your brain, meaning you are going to sleep for some designated time, 6 hours, 7 hours, 8 hours, at least on average 7 hours per day, or 6 hours at least. That will help you to have a proper brain functioning, and this brain is actually the thing which controls the entire body part. 8th point is about preparing for the worst case scenario. Always, if you are having 2 keys, one key you will carry for your home with you, the other key you will keep maybe somewhere. Maybe you make another key that will be on your office drawer. You keep another key that will give to your wife. That way you are going to make a plan B, plan C. Then whenever you are confronted with some situation which you never thought of, if that happens, you can just carry through, and you can remove the complications which is supposed to happen if you are not having plan B in place. So in your office days, in your study plans, always try to have that particular slot where you have this plan B or plan C. So whenever this plan A fails, you can just proceed to switch to plan B or plan C that way. And people think like a genius. Genius is someone who is having answer to all. Like whatever question you're going to ask him or her, that person will give you the answer right away. So some people, they think like I should be having knowledge of almost all. That is entirely wrong thing. So it is like particular to this book, what this book is telling is, even that is a fact, it is not that you should know all the answers. It should be like you should be knowing the source of the answer and how to get it. Like whatever question you ask me, I may not be able to tell you in front of you, but I know how to get it, where to get it, and I will be able to give you the answer. So that way I am going to give you an answer through my organized mind. So what I'm going to do is I'm not overusing my brain capacity. I'm keeping my brain cool, calm, and not overloaded. Only the thing which has to be there for proper usage, I'm using it. Remaining time, what I'm doing is I'm just feeling the presence, the nature, so that way the brain also will be in balance. It will not be overloaded, so that will allow you to make some quick decisions depending on the situation which is present. We are not the creatures built to run some mobile phone. We are not the creatures to just think about the history, our past, and just get grieved on that. Or we are not the people who are built to just think of the future and worried about what will happen next. We are the creatures who are supposed to live in the present. So what we are supposed to do is, we should not be carried by all this thing in your brain. Keep your brain free and just know like where and how to get the information and how to process this information to make it a knowledge. That's it. The 10th and last point is probability and gain vital skill of assessing information. So the probability is just like you are planning to go out and there is a chance of raining. So whether to take the umbrella, whether to go by your car or public transport, whether the traffic jam is more, or traffic figure what is announced in your radio or television, you're telling you to take or not, or you are making a wild guess whether to take it or not. So this way the probability plays an important role. It is just like telling some person 75%, 0.75 probability of 0.75 probability of raining and 0.25 probability of not raining. So obviously I will go for the higher figure, 0.75 of not raining, and I will not take the umbrella. So that way we are helping ourselves by making use of this probability. This probability thing will work by taking into factors. If we are going to look into the horizon sky, and if you are finding the thick black clouds, then there is a chance that there is a chance of raining, and if there is a wind, then obviously this cloud will be carried through. You don't have to be worried about the rain. So that way what you are going to do is you are helping yourself by making use of probability, then gain vital skill of assessing information. So when you are looking into your local television and you are seeing the weather report, so these people are giving some information, you are going to ask your friends, which are the person is lying some distance away, ask him like what is the climate there. So that way you are trying to get more information. So all this information you will assess and you will make this probability, and this probability, if you are able to fine tune to your decision making process, that also will help your brain to take the data and make a decision. Otherwise just like going and just like thinking like whether it will rain or not, just being inside a room and thinking, it may ruin hours after hours and you will not be even going out also. So don't make your brain work more, try to get more information and try to employ this probability concept, how to be used to make a proper decision. So those are the 10 points which are mainly discussed in this book, The Organized Mind by the Daniel Levitin. He is an American Canadian writer. He's a neuroscientist, he's a psychologist, he's a musician and a producer, as said before. And the effort of this book is just to make you aware that your brain is a precious element in your body, and this brain is actually the thing which makes you do things what actually has to be done. So that way your brain will get its proper role in your life.